First Florida man, Ando de Soto. First Florida man, was Hernando de Soto. Won't you so loco? Show off your photos, throw out your Twinkies, throw up your ho-hos, tuck in them pinkies. Them shits a no-no. The first Florida man was Hernando de Soto. Brought to my attention by the man with the mojo. My 8 subscriber, I'm a bagoso. Jump in them sinkies and dump them mimosos. The first Florida man was Hernando de Soto. First Florida man was Hernando de Soto. First Florida man was Hernando de Soto.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. How's everybody doing today? Well, I hope everybody's doing splendidly. So I changed it to 8 o'clock because both of my other shows on Wednesdays and Fridays are at 8 o'clock, and it was difficult. It's so much easier just to say Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 instead of specifying times this day and that day. So we're just doing 8 o'clock on Sundays from now on, except for next weekend. That's another story. I'm not going to be here next Sunday, but we'll figure something out. Maybe I'll do earlier in the afternoon. Sunday, next a week from today will be different. Anyway, I have so many dogs here today. So if you decide you'd like to support the show in any way, we have, of course, the stars of the show, Xena and Ava. And then we have Xena 2 is still here. Xena 2. We have Luke over there in the corner, little Jack Russell, and Leia's here as well. Let's see if we can get Leia on camera without knocking over my coffee. There she is. And Leia, of course. So, we have a full house. We have a full house until Wednesday. Anyway, get up, get your spot. Go ahead. You can get up there too, Leia. It's a twin size bed. Everybody will fit, right? Probably not. Anyway, dogs are all here. It is Sunday, so I'm not drinking, but I still do appreciate your super chats. How about this? If anybody donates $20 or more, I will make myself a note on my dry erase and have a drink on Wednesday when we go live for today's donation. Or just wait till Wednesday, because knowing me, even if I write it down and double check it and set an alarm, I'll probably still forget. So anyway, I guess we'll just jump into the first story. I don't want to start off with the cover story because I want people to be able to roll in here, but I still want to entertain you guys. So let's do a couple of other stories first, and then we'll get into this thing that happened on the light rail in Charlotte. Crazy stuff happening in the world. Crazy. Anyway, Ryan asked if that's just a dog bed. No, this is a twin size bed. This is my guest bedroom. That is a full ass twin size bed, covered in mutts is what that is. Covered in, well, I think Xena 2 is not a mutt. Actually, the only mutts in this house right now are my dogs, to be clear. We have a Jack Russell, we have a boxer, we have a pit bull, and then my 2 mutts. That's what's happening. The pity is stealing the show. Well, I'll leave her on camera. That's Xena 2. Xena 2's trying to steal the show from Xena 1. Xena 1 back there in the corner used to be the star of the show. Now Xena 2 is here. All right, first story. Let's see what we have. Let's see what we have. These are all stories that you guys sent me. And a couple that I added myself, to be clear. Couple I added myself. This one says 10 arrested in Kissimmee. Police operation targeting drug sales near schools. Holy cow. I mean, if you're going to sell drugs, why are you doing it next to a school? Unless that's your target audience. That doesn't make any sense. Just seems kind of evil to me. Oh, hold on. There we go.
I'm in North Kissimmee here near Main Street and Cypress. This area has a lot of businesses, schools, and unfortunately has had a lot of drugs.
I caught up with Kissimmee Deputy Chief of Police Wilson Munoz. He told me about the arrest of 10 people following a 2-month operation aimed at disrupting narcotics activity. The area is nicknamed the Wall because of the way this large building that faces the road looks, and it attracts druggies and dealers.
They were selling cocaine, crack cocaine.
It's because there's no windows. It's complete words are hard. I chose the wrong career. Anonymity. Yeah. I still don't think that's right, but I don't think I can do it. You know what I'm trying to say, right? People don't know who they are. So, because it's a giant wall blocking the view from anybody else with no windows, put some cameras up, guys. What are you doing? Look at this wall. Nobody can see you.
Druggies and dealers.
They were selling cocaine, crack cocaine to be specific, and fentanyl.
Near a school.
Yes, so we have Central Avenue Elementary. That is right down the street from the wall, if you want to call it that.
How concerning is that?
It is very concerning to us, which is why our detectives immediately started working an operation in that area so that we can target the individuals that are selling it, the individuals that are
in elementary school. So hopefully they're just there because of the wall and they're, the protection that the wall offers is not that they're trying to sell it to elementary school students. I was thinking it was maybe near high school where they were trying to get people hooked early. I hope that's not the case here.
playing lookout for the individuals that are selling it and to target the runners.
Suspects face charges ranging from felony sale or delivery of controlled substances within 1,000 feet of a school to possession with intent to distribute, as well as drug trafficking.
The Kissimmee Police Department is committed to ensuring that all of our neighborhoods and community areas, businesses, residential, are safe and free from drugs, especially around our schools. We will not tolerate it.
In Kissimmee, I'm your Osceola County community correspondent, Laverne McGee, News 6.
Thanks, Laverne McGee. That's a great name for a newscaster, isn't it? Laverne McGee. Love it. Laverne McGee, Kissimmee, Florida. South Florida man rammed woman with SUV after she wouldn't. Who sent me this? Who sent me this? After she wouldn't let him smell her feet. Why are you sending me this degenerate stuff? Why? I guess we're going to find out what happened, you weirdos who want to see this. I need to remember I have them all muted right now.
First date taking a dangerous turn in a one and only exclusive. A woman tells us she's lucky to be alive after her date hits her with his car.
Yeah, but before he drove off, he kept asking her about her feet. A local 10's Rosh Lowe joining us live in Aventura with a breakdown for us.
True, it could be Magoo. Way worse. Laverne Magoo. Laverne McGee is a great name. Laverne Magoo, not so much. Hey. Dogs cannot be by the wires. Come on, Leia. Thank you. Good girl.
Strange, bizarre, and certainly something didn't smell right here. We've all heard horror stories about online dating, but this suspect, well, he didn't pass the smell test.
This guy asked to smell your feet?
Yes, he did.
What did he say?
Well, initially we had met up because I was going to sell him my sneakers.
She knew something didn't smell right when she met this guy, Almansi Sersel, at an Aventura hotel.
When I got there, he just wanted to sniff my feet, and I didn't feel comfortable with that.
I have to stop you there. What do you say when someone says, I want to sniff your feet?
No. No, I mean, you could have my sneakers all you want. I mean, I don't care.
Absolutely not. If I met up with somebody to sell them my used gym shoes or sneakers, as they say in other parts of the country, and they asked me to smell my feet when I got there, I would absolutely deals off. You cannot have any of my anything. You cannot have my sneakers. I know what you're going to do with those, and I don't want to think about it, so you can't have them. I'll just throw them away. I will donate them to Goodwill, or I'll sell them to somebody else. I'm not giving them to that guy. $20 is not $20 in this case, Colonel Angus. Absolutely not. No way. No. Yeah. And why are you meeting him at a hotel? Why? I assume she was meeting him in the hotel lobby because it's a public place where there's witnesses. But still, wrong signals, like wrong message. Meet him at the Walgreens instead. There's cameras there. There's people around.
Them, and they're just stinky old sneakers. But people like weird things.
Then things got downright scary. She says the suspect runs out of the room. She thinks with her sneakers.
I ran after him.
Wait.
And I met him down in the.
I'm sorry, ma'am. You were in a hotel room with him? She met him in a hotel room. I mean, I don't want to blame the victim, but that's crazy to meet a stranger from Facebook Marketplace inside of a hotel room. That's just setting yourself up for trouble. Don't do this. Like, safety tip to everybody out there. Don't meet strangers in hotel rooms for any reason at all. Absolutely not.
Him, and I met him down in the parking garage.
She says he ran her over with his car.
He did a 3-point turn and actually hit me with a car, ran me over.
He ran you over?
He ran me over, and by the grace of God, I'm still standing today.
She shows us the injuries.
I've met a lot of people who have foot fetishes, obviously, and nobody has ever done anything to this caliber.
She says she's lucky to be alive.
You're charged with aggravated battery, a second-degree felony.
In his arrest report, cops say after a review of the defendant's background, he's been the subject in other incidents involving the same modus operandi.
We've covered a lot of bizarre cases. I've covered a lot of bizarre cases in my day. This is up there.
It's pretty bizarre. It was extremely bizarre for me, too. I've never experienced anything like this before.
So the victim is still frightened, and she says, look, I was truly fortunate to be alive. I was run over with a car. She tells us there is surveillance video. We're hoping to get that video sometime this week. In Aventura, I'm Rosh Lowe, Local 10 News.
I know that people have sent me that video. Should I try to find it? I didn't pull it up because it had to do with weird foot fetish stuff, so I didn't pull it up. Let me see if I can find it. Let me play another story before we get to the train thing while I see if I can find it. This one's 2 minutes long. Let's see if I can find the foot video body cam in 2 minutes.
A standoff just ended in Westwood after a naked woman led police on a brief chase and then refused to leave her SUV.
It was a long-playing incident. Eyewitness News reporter Ashley Mackey's live in Westwood with the latest. Ashley.
That's right. That woman is out of her vehicle now and in custody. She's safely removed, and that's a credit to the police officers who were doing everything and saying everything they could to get her out of that vehicle without incident. Once out of the car, police quickly wrapped a sheet around her. Police have been saying and doing, again, everything they could to coax this woman out of her vehicle over the intercom. We heard them saying things like, "We're not going to let you stay here. We don't want you to get hurt. We know you're having a bad day, but it's not the end of the world." This all began around 6:45 this morning when officers responded to a disturbance call. There were reports of a screaming woman on Ovada Place, just about a mile from where we are now. A brief pursuit ensued before the suspect stopped her gray Ford Bronco in the middle of the street here on Sepulveda Boulevard. Using their vehicles as shields, police had their weapons drawn and spike strips were placed in front of her car and adjacent streets as a precaution. At one point, she was flailing her arms around outside the car. We know she had a small dog with her. She asked police to get her dog some water during this standoff. From our Air 7, we saw that she climbed to the back of the car. The Bearcats showed up, boxing in her vehicle, and we know a window was busted because we heard the loud crack and saw shattered glass on the ground. Now back out here live again, the streets are now opening back up. Going north, Sepulveda Boulevard is still blocked off while that Ford Bronco sits there and police wait for people to come and remove that vehicle. Reporting live.
I didn't even realize, I wasn't paying attention to the story because I was looking for that body cam, which I did not find, by the way. I can't remember who sent it to me. And I don't know where they sent it to me. People send me stuff in like all different places. If I find it by the end of the show, we'll play it. But I used to work like right over here. This is in Westwood. This is in LA. I used to work right at like San Vicente and so not Sunset. I can't think of the name of the street now. It was like right over there by the Veterans Hospital I used to work. This is right by there.
Live here in Westwood, Ashley Mackey, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Oh, man. All right, now on to the main story. So a couple weeks ago, this thing happened on a train, and the surveillance video of it was just released. So I'm going to play, let's find out what's happening first, and then we're actually going to watch the video. It's edited, so you don't see anything too bad. Just, brace yourselves or whatever. It's not good, obviously. But it is edited, so you don't see the actual stabbing take place. Could have been anybody. Witness describes aftermath of deadly stabbing on Charlotte light rail.
On WBTV. Traumatized by a light rail ride, we're hearing from a Charlotte woman who witnessed the aftermath of last Friday's deadly stabbing.
Police now say that victim did not know her killer. Michael Warwick is live at the Blue Line station in South End where this happened. So, Michael, the woman you talked to is hoping to advocate for this victim.
It's affected her so much because she was only separated by a light rail car from this. And while she did not know the victim, she wants to see justice done fast.
I think all of us want to know why.
Takara Howard doesn't know the next time she'll be able to ride the light rail with her mind at ease.
I didn't know how bad the PTSD was until the next day I tried to get on the train.
Takara says she witnessed the aftermath of a deadly stabbing that took the life of a young woman who police identified as 23-year-old Irina Zarutska.
Like, it was so horrific. I've never in my life seen something so terrible.
Takara usually sat in the rear car where she says the attack happened, but Friday night, for no particular reason, she rode in a different one.
The only thing that kept going through my head is that could have been me, that could have been anyone, that it was not a direct target, it was anyone.
Takara is now advocating for the fellow passenger she never met. CMPD tells us Zarutska's attacker, DeCarlos Brown, didn't know his victim.
I couldn't imagine the pain that they're feeling. The only thing that I wish and I hope for and I pray for is that they receive justice.
While the attacks damaged how Takara gets around, she does hope it strengthens security on behalf of light rail riders citywide.
You have to expect for the unexpected now because it's like we don't feel comfortable doing our normal routines.
I don't know why this lady's on the news at all, to be fair. Like, she wasn't even in the car. She didn't see what happened. Like, they just put anybody on the news, huh?
Well, right now we are working to determine if this attack will lead to any safety changes. We will also let you know when Brown is released from the hospital and taken to jail. Live in South End, Michael Warwick, WBTV, on your side.
I can only imagine what she witnessed. Michael, thank you. John?
She said she was on the other car. She didn't witness anything. She, saw the aftermath of it. Sorry to be dismissive of her trauma or whatever, but come on. Also, I guess, okay, she lives in Charlotte, so she's not, I guess, because I grew up in Chicago, so we would see crazy stuff all the time on the trains and the neighbor, I saw a lot of crazy shit growing up. So the aftermath of a stabbing is like, okay, maybe I'm different.
Tonight, Charlotte Mayor Vi Lyles is releasing a statement about the video of the deadly stabbing on a light rail train 2 weeks ago. That video is just so disturbing, and we are not showing it to you at this time, but it has the moments police...
I'm showing it to you as soon as this news segment is over. So in less than a minute, we're watching it.
Say the suspect, DeCarlos Brown, is accused of attacking the victim from behind, and the random attack happened on August 22nd. The suspect is then in the video seen walking away and leaving the train at the next stop. Brown has since been arrested and is charged with murder. He's being held in the Mecklenburg County Jail. In a post to social media, Mayor Lyles is calling the attack senseless and a tragic loss. She goes on to say she has been focusing on what safety looks like in Charlotte and that she is committed to making the city a place for everyone to feel comfortable in. On Wednesday, the CAT's Public Transit Advisory Committee is set to get an update on safety and security during its meeting, and we will update you if any new developments come from that.
Queen City News Plus.
Yeah, shush. All right. Where is... Uh-oh, do I not? Here it is. Here it is. I thought I just put it in the wrong spot. There we go. All right. We're going to sit through this. It's 6 minutes. Like I said, it is edited, so you don't see the actual stabbing. You don't see the victim after she's stabbed at all. So, but I want to warn you guys because he ends up cutting his hand. You know how, I mean, if you watch my channel, you probably already know this, but when you're stabbing someone, not that you would be stabbing somebody, but stabbers, the blood is slippery. So once they stab the first time, it gets very slippery on their hands, and a lot of times their hand slips. He ends up cutting his hand, in other words. So you see his blood, but he's fine. So. Ryan says, why wouldn't we want to see it? I like to have my YouTube channel where it's at. There are plenty of websites where you could probably see the whole thing if somebody from the transit department or somebody has put it out there. You know, that there is other places on the internet. YouTube's not the place to see the whole video, but I'm sure you can find it if it's out there. I know I could probably find it if I wanted to see it.
This stop is Stanley Park Station. Please exit right.
Of all the seats she could have picked. And look at how annoyed he looks that she's sitting here, which is crazy to me because it's a whole open row. It's not like she sat next to him and there was other open seats or something like that. It's a whole open row. She's not bothering anybody.
Please stand clear. Doors are closing. Train is about to move.
Horrible, right? Thank goodness it looks like a little, although she did end up dying, but you know, because he stabbed her in the neck. But it was just a little tiny pocket knife. Look, you can see it there. It's like an itty bitty little pocket knife. Horrible. You could see, at first I thought the blood was dripping like from the knife, her blood, but you can see after a while where it's still gushing out. He sliced his hand up pretty good. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but whoever's sitting right here said, "Hey, you're dripping blood real bad, bro." And he said, "I just stabbed a girl." Let me rewind it again. It's just crazy to me how people are just so calm on this train. They're just so calm. Nobody's rushing to help her, it didn't look like. I mean, I didn't see it if they were. Nobody's rushing to subdue him. It's crazy to me. Not only that this happened, that he did this to this young woman, but that nobody's reacting to it. What is wrong with people?
This stop is East West Boulevard Station. Please exit right.
Not that I can see. Not that I could see. I didn't see anybody rendering aid. And like I said, I don't know. This is still all coming out. This video was just released, so I have no idea. But I know that she did die. So, if she was stabbed in the neck, it might have been too late before anybody realized what happening. It takes minutes to bleed out from your neck injury. So I have no idea. People realize what's going on because there's a trail of blood from the young lady to him, and he's wrapping his people know something happened, but nobody's going to check on her.
This stop is East West Boulevard Station. Please exit right.
I wonder if those two guys that ran after he left, ran towards her, did see what was happening or were just scared to pass him or turn their backs on him and are going to render aid now. I don't, like I said, I'm sure it'll all come out, but I don't know. This was in Charlotte, on the light rail in Charlotte. Yeah, when I saw that story, I just thought that was just so horrible. And I had to cover it because there's so many little things that could have been different. First of all, somebody said she didn't provoke him that much. She didn't provoke him at all. All she did was get on the train and sit down. She didn't even look at him that I could see. He was, and if she did, if she made eye contact or if she looked his direction when she got on the train, he was looking down at the time, so he didn't even see that. If she looked at him at all, but is looking at somebody, even if that did happen, that's not provoking somebody. That's like looking around, finding a seat. All she did was sit down. That's it. This guy hopefully goes to prison for the rest of his life because there's no provocation. There's no excuse for this. This person, you cannot turn your back on this person. He cannot be trusted in society. I don't want to breathe the same air as him. I know there's always hope for redemption, but that doesn't mean he has to be having his redemption sitting on a train cart with me. He can have that in prison. Anyway, sorry, that was heavy. That was heavy, guys. That was heavy. I have hopefully some lighter stories. Like this person who spiked his granddaughter's ice cream with cocaine, which seems crazy to me. Why would you want more hyper kids around you? Kids are hyper enough with the sugar that's in the ice cream. You don't need to put cocaine in it.
From law enforcement.
As you know, I'm going to correct the date. It doesn't change anything with the case. In the initial release I put out August 8th. An officer was flagged down at the sheets at the corner of Shipyard Boulevard and Independence. It was actually August 3rd, so that's my mistake. But on August 3rd, a patrol officer was flagged down at the Sheets gas station at the corner of Shipyard Boulevard and Independence, and was advised that two teenage girls had located some pills in their blizzards, which is, as you probably know, is an ice cream product you can get from Dairy Queen. There were paramedics that were already there at the Sheets. They weren't specifically called for this incident. In fact, that's actually why we believe that they stopped there. The paramedics checked them out. It did not appear that the juveniles had ingested any of the foreign substances that were located in their ice creams. The officer confiscated the pills. A presumptive field test was conducted on those pills. We'll talk about that here in a little bit too if you have questions. The field test is presumptive in nature. Okay, it's not a laboratory test. That comes later. That is in progress right now as we speak. Based on the presumptive test and the totality of everything going on, safe to say one thing led to another.
Sorry to interrupt the next story to talk about the last story we just covered, but Eat Squawk just said, I'd probably get killed. I'm too quick to react to this crap. I chased a crook that was breaking into my car. When the cop said, ma'am, what were you going to do if you caught him? Probably not too smart. I did the same thing when I was in high school. I got mugged and I chased the guy. And it's because I know what I was going to do if I caught him. I had pepper spray in my pocket, but it all happened so quickly I didn't have a chance to use it. So I was going to chase him down and pepper spray him. That was my plan as like a, 16 or 17-year-old girl on my way to Catholic school, like uniform and all. That was the plan. He got away, unfortunately.
Report was taken. That report was forwarded up to our Criminal Investigations Division, which any report that has follow-up factors is forwarded up to them. A detective began investigating the case. Obviously, that involves going to the scene of the crime, talking to those involved. During that investigation, surveillance video was discovered and handed over to the Wilmington Police Department that clearly shows Mr. Yoakley placing the pills in the ice cream. Based on that, other things discovered in the investigation, that detective pursued charges against Mr. Yoakley. It was on the 26th that he came to the police station and was taken into custody, and those warrants that have been taken out and were served. And then he was transported to the jail, the New Hanover County Detention Center. He was given a $100,000 secured bond by the magistrate and was able to post bond and is currently out on bail right now. That's kind of where we're at right now. I think most of that information is probably already known. I know various outlets have obtained court paperwork through the clerk.
This story's crazy. We do need a break. This is a 20-minute news conference. So thank you very, very much, Charmed Forever. The doggies need a break. I needed a break. I think everybody here kind of needed a break, right? All right, we'll start over here with Ava the terrorist. There you go. And Xena 2. Xena 1 in the back row. Oh, stolen mid-air. Did you see? Talk about Crimeland. There's crimes happening right here in this room. Not for you. Not for you. All right, Xena 2 or Xena 1 got it. And we have, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see Luke and Leia. There's Leia. Here, Leia. Oh, and look at this cutie pie right here. That's Luke. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Back to the news conference with this grandpa spiking his granddaughter's ice cream.
Clerk's office is public record and gleaned other information there. So if there are any questions you guys have, I'll try to answer them, and I also have my help over here that can potentially answer or clarify anything that you may be curious about. I'll open it up.
I think I probably know the answer, but will you guys be releasing that footage?
No, we're not going to release it. The case has to go to court, and once it goes to court and is presented as evidence, and the case is adjudicated, there's a potential then. But no, we won't be releasing it prior.
Have you guys found exactly where Yoakley got the pills from?
Don't believe so. Like the source? No. No.
Are you all able to say what type of narcotics were found?
Kevin, do you want to kind of...
The pills that were received...
Come on up here so they can...
It's fine. The pills that were received that night were tested in a field test, which is not conclusive. It just gives the officer an idea of what we could be dealing with, especially for narcotics or poison or anything like that. So the presumptive test showed that it had the same compounds as other drugs. It may very well not be those drugs when it comes back from the lab. So that's where we are right now. So for us to say it's not absolute as to what it was, it definitely was a pill because it was wet. The markings weren't readable. So we're not going to jump to conclusions. We only listed the type of drugs that were, I think, released in the warrant because that's what they tested for in the street, but it may turn out to be something else.
So the street field tests basically are designed to test for compounds that make up illegal narcotics or narcotics in general. So it indicates the compounds, the chemical compounds that are there. So there's no question, we're talking about drugs here. It's just getting to the point where it's isolated, identifying exactly what drugs are there. That's in progress right now with the lab.
Would it have been a lethal dose?
Hard to say. I not being a medical professional and not knowing specifics, how different folks metabolize things, I really can't say whether it would be lethal or not. There was not a huge amount And I know that's kind of a broad term there, but yeah, I mean, it wasn't, we're talking 1 pill per container. So, and I don't know what the milligrams come up to be or anything like that. Again, a lot of that stuff's gonna depend on the lab findings.
Just to confirm something you said earlier, you said you believe Mr. Yoakley stopped at Sheetz because paramedics were already present there?
I believe so. So I believe the young ladies that are involved in this case, when they discovered the pills, they became very concerned and emotional, and I believe the 16-year-old involved was driving, and right now it looks like that due to concerns, fear, panic, if you will, made the decision to pull in there.
What do you guys think this grandpa's end game was by spiking the granddaughter's ice cream with cocaine? It just seems like a weird thing to do. Like, what is his end game here?
We think that decision was probably made by the juveniles to go to the gas station since they saw an ambulance or paramedic vehicle there.
So if Yoakley is from Surrey County, do you all know why he was out here in Wilmington?
We believe he has a residence here. Yeah, so I don't know about his residential status in Surrey County, but we do know he's a resident of New Hanover, or he is a resident of New Hanover County as well.
We had heard he's got a bit of a criminal history. Can y'all elaborate on that?
I'm actually not familiar. I haven't run his criminal.
Okay, so people are saying pedo, but cocaine doesn't seem like, I would think the same thing if you just said, oh, this person drugged these teenagers ice cream. I would think the same thing. But drugging them with uppers does not make sense to me for that situation. Do you see what I'm saying?
Criminal history, I'm not familiar with that.
Have you spoke to the family or the girls?
The girls were interviewed extensively for the case, yes.
Okay, yeah, so the females involved have been interviewed.
And did you cover the relationship of the girls not necessarily being...
I didn't go deep into that. So we know one juvenile is a step granddaughter.
Well, at least he referred to him as granddaughter, but the other one's a friend of the granddaughter.
Correct. Yeah.
I don't know if you're able to elaborate. What did he have to say about this?
I don't know myself, and I can't find out and elaborate on that. Yeah. What else?
The parents, have they said anything?
Not that I'm aware of. Our investigators have been in contact with the family and spoken to them, but again, that would be something in confidence between them.
So at the time that these two teenagers flagged down, someone, did they...
This makes sense. Maybe he was planning on blaming Dairy Queen and suing Dairy Queen? That could be it.
Explanation that it was potentially their grandfather?
It didn't appear so initially. So when they went to the Sheetz because they saw the EMS vehicle there, and it was actually the paramedics that flagged the officer down in conjunction with the juveniles that were there. The officer happened to be in the area. So it all kind of happened rapidly and quickly, but yeah.
Did any of the girls express concerns, with his behavior? Is this the first time that something like this has happened, or did they feel any sort of way?
At this time, we don't know. And I can tell you, based on what I've been informed or what I've been told, is that the girls were very upset.
Yeah,
they were very upset, very concerned, panicked. And of course that was this incident, but as far as like indications of any other past behavior or anything, I can't go into that if that's been expressed or not.
And just anecdotally, I mean, this is kind of a wild case. I mean, have you ever seen anything like this before?
We've seen cases before where people have put drugs in people's drinks or food. I mean, yeah, it's happened before, and it does happen. Just based on my experience, this is the first time that I know of where it's been like this kind of dynamic with a family member, but that's certainly not to say, it's never happened before. That's just based on my experience. It's not an everyday occurrence. Typically when you think of people putting something in someone's drink, you're traditionally thinking downtown or, a roofie, if you will, or something like that. And that could be a completely different scenario. But as far as in my experience, family member wise, it's the first I can think of as I'm standing up here, but it's, again, certainly not to say it's never happened before.
Were they all driving together?
Yes. Yeah, they were all in Mr. Oakley's vehicle.
Did he place the pills in the drinks at the Dairy Queen?
Yes.
Can you elaborate on how he concealed that?
I don't know how well. So I know in the video, just to kind of summarize it, he can be seen placing something on the counter, and it's pretty apparent that when the employees make the drinks, he's trying to observe if anybody's observing him, and that's when the items are placed in the blizzards or drinks, however you want to editorialize it. But yeah.
And when you guys went back to that Dairy Queen, and I assume asked, what stuff, did they see him doing anything? Did they ever see anything?
No, they didn't give us any indication that they picked up on any suspicious behavior. They missed it, basically. Which is to be expected. From what I understand, it was around closing time. Maybe 4 employees there, I think. So it was around closing time. They're closing up shop. They're doing their thing. They're making ice cream, so they're not necessarily on guard, to watch what a customer's doing. So it's definitely not on them. And there was obviously an effort by Mr. Oakley to try and conceal his behavior. So
this mostly occurred at night?
What time? It wasn't in the evening?
Your closing time at night, and to point out, both victims of this remained in the car the whole time, so it was a situation where there wasn't anybody around watching.
Right, so he ordered.
Dairy Queen has been absolutely helpful with us. Anything that we need, and they supplied all the surveillance footage that they have from several different angles, and at no time did we believe that they had anything to do with this case.
Yeah, if anything, regardless of how this case is adjudicated, Dairy Queen was collateral damage based on somebody else's behavior. What else? Is there anything you guys needed me to bring up specifically, or I think it kind of covers it?
You told me Anderson Cooper was going to be here.
That's the only way I could get you down here, man.
I guess, is there anything can you say about, where the kids are? I'm assuming they're with their parents now.
I'm not sure. They're safe, but that's obviously a priority. Anytime a juvenile is the victim of a crime or exposed to a crime or anything like that, Health and Human Services, commonly referred to as DSS, becomes involved, and obviously the child or juvenile's welfare is something that's paramount, regardless of the case. So their well-being was looked after by us, along with partners at DSS.
I'm not sure if I missed this in the news or anything, but is Yoakley still in custody, or did he bail out?
No, he made bond the day of his arrest. He posted it was a $100,000.
There should not be bond for something like this. He cannot be trusted around ice cream or children, obviously. $100,000 bond. Do I think that's fair in a case where you're drugging? Like, they could have died. They could have had a reaction and died if they would have drank it. We don't know. I don't know how much he put in there, but even a little bit at that age, $100,000 bond for this. Bond is not meant to punish. It's meant to get somebody to come back to court. He is innocent until proven guilty, right? $100,000. I don't know. I don't know if that's enough. I think it should be more than that. I think it should be like whatever his house is worth, like assume he has an average house in that area. I would think would be like about $250 to $350,000. I think that's what his bond should be. He should have to put his house on the line, is what I'm saying. That's what the bond should be, in my opinion.
Anything, but is Yoakley still in custody, or did he bail out?
No, he made bond the day of his arrest. He posted it was a $100,000 secured bond, and he bonded out.
And to make sure that I'm the ignorant recruiter that I'm under, if we're not talking ice cream that this was put in, we're talking Slurpee, like a drink.
It's ice cream. It's like a really thick milkshake.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a Blizzard. So anybody that frequents Dairy Queen, if they're familiar with a Blizzard, it's a milkshake you eat with a spoon.
How does somebody not know what a Blizzard is? First of all, I don't know. I think I've had a Blizzard maybe twice in my whole life. I'm more of a dipped cone kind of girl at Dairy Queen, but I know what it is, right?
What are your next steps now moving forward with the investigation?
So basically, looking into any aspect that could branch off of this investigation, any kind of behaviors that we can discover that led up to this incident and during the incident. Obviously, there's the lab aspect to this. Our partners with the sheriff's office lab are the ones processing the pills. So that's obviously a part of it. There's obviously will be a lot of conference that our investigators will have with the district attorney's office. So, even, and this isn't just unique to this case. Anytime there's a case of varying degree of severity, once there's arrest, even after the arrest, it's very common for the investigation to continue on. So it's not like, arrest is made, the book's closed, and we wait for court. So there's a lot of loose ends we tie up, a lot of post interviews or additional interviews that are conducted, just things like that. Nothing that will really change where we're already at. If anything, it'll just build on the case.
And when will those results on the pills be ready? Is there like a timeline or?
It's hard to say.
It's time for a break from the grandfather who's drugging his children for some milk bones. Thank you very much. Fact check. Lack of duck feet is the leading cause of depression in puppy dogs. By the look of my clients, they've obviously went weeks without. Oh no. Oh no. Do I need to make a trip to Hollywood Feed? I actually looked online the other day on Amazon. And they're probably in my Amazon cart right now. I found duck feet on Amazon, but I did not press the order button yet because that's, I think, the only thing in my Amazon cart. And I like to get a few things in there before I hit order. So they will have to suffer. They're going to have to suffer. By the way, my P.O. box is in my channel description. If you want to send anything to myself, nobody's ever sent anything to me. The dogs happens a lot. Or to Kfar or Dexter, feel free to send it to the P.O. box that's listed in the channel description. Wow, look at how much attention I have here. Everyone's paying attention. We'll start with Xena 2. Here you go, Xena 2. Watch the fingers. Easy. Thank you. Xena 2. Ava. For you. Leia. Leia for you. Luke. For you. Xena 1. Xena got hers. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. The doggies definitely appreciate it. And we needed a break from the story, so I think everybody in the chat probably appreciates it too.
I mean, I don't want to throw a timeline out there and kind of like make anybody feel like they're closed within. The local lab here is more than capable. Excuse me, more than capable of handling this request, and the turnaround usually is quicker than it is at the state lab, which is just because the state lab, North Carolina State Lab, handles North Carolina. And they have a huge.
By the way, anybody who's new here, these are not all my dogs. Only 2 of these dogs are my dogs. People are probably coming. I have a lot of new subscribers from the shorts that have been getting a lot of views lately. I don't have 5 dogs. I have 2 dogs. I have visitor dogs every now and again. because we dog sit for people, because my dogs are very good with other dogs. So Luke and Leia, the Jack Russell and the boxer are visiting, and Xena too, which is this big blockhead right here, is also visiting. These three are visiting. The other two are mine.
Workload. So the lab here is capable of doing the exact same tests, and the turnaround is typically a lot quicker. So it won't be real long, but I mean, it's going to take them a little bit of time to do what they need to do. But not as long as it would if we sent it up to the state lab. Again, just because the state lab's workload is heavy.
I know nobody's been convicted yet. We want to basically establish that. But if there is a conviction here, he's looking at some pretty serious time, I would think.
Potentially. Somebody at the district attorney's office could probably consult you better on that, but it depends on what level he's convicted at and prior history, anything like that. But it is safe to say, yes, that there could absolutely be time, a sentence that would require active time. That is correct.
I would hope so. Is that even a question? Is it even a question that you could put cocaine and MDMA in teenage girls' Dairy Queen and not serve prison time? Like prison time meaning more than a year? Is that even a question? How is this? I don't understand. I don't get it.
When his first court appearance?
So his first appearance based on the felony charges would have been Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, the day after his charge. So anytime anyone's charged with a felony, they'll have a felony first appearance, which is typically the next day, especially if they're arrested later in the day. So that has already occurred. I don't know when his next court appearance will be. It is online. It should be online. I just haven't looked at it.
And then just to get this correct, August 3rd was when the patrol officer...
That is correct. That is correct. In the initial statement I released, I said August 8th. That's our mistake. It's August 3rd was when this initially happened. And the investigation carried through to the 20th. I mean, really, the investigation's ongoing now, but he was taken into custody on August 26th.
And just to confirm, those two shooting images were both female?
Yes. Yeah.
Is there any particular reason why the public was notified, a few weeks after the incident, compared to like other incidents where press release would come out,
Well, it was because of his arrest. So we typically, there's a lot that goes on in Wilmington, right? Like any other city our size. So there really wouldn't be a reason, especially in this case. If it was an unknown, honestly, it could do more harm than good. And putting it out there to say, hey, something happened and we don't know what's going on. It was relatively quick in this investigation that we developed Mr. Oakley as a suspect, and of course we're definitely not going to advertise that. We don't want to. We want to make sure we can gather as much evidence as we can.
What, you mean the police are investigating and not really releasing every little inch of their investigation to the public? That's crazy. I didn't know they did that. They're supposed to tell us everything. I'm being sarcastic, obviously. This is how all police investigations work, even the ones where no crime has been committed. So,
So, yeah, I mean, this wouldn't be one of those situations where we put out a media release or anything like that until the arrest was made.
Thank you for the $5 super chat. I usually put Imodium in my blizzards. It helps in the hours following. I'm back in form. LOL. It's just so many of them right now. Everybody chill. You all get one. Everybody just needs to chill. Okay? Xena 2. Easy. Okay? Easy. Thank you. If I don't say easy, sometimes I get my fingers stuck in her teeth. My fault, obviously, not hers, right? Thank you. Good girl. Leia back there in the back. Luke. And original Xena. OG Xena. I appreciate it, Cerebral Tackle.
And let me prove my full ignorance.
No, you're
Can I
good.
get you to repeat both first and last name? And you're dealing with the world's worst speller. Can I get you to spell first? and last?
Mine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I was about to give you somebody else's name here. I'm going to give, no, I'm just kidding. My first name is Greg, G-R-E-G. My last name is Willett, W-I-L-L-E-T-T.
And your rank, sir. I think you've already mentioned.
Yep, that's all right, Lieutenant.
Okay.
Yep. And everybody likes to drop a T on my last name or add an S. 2 T's, that's it.
All right, so we were just listening in there to officials a little bit earlier today after we are learning a North Carolina County Elections Chair accused of putting cocaine in his granddaughter's ice cream. And there he is on your screen there. That's suspect James Yoakley Jr. If we learn anything more about this story, we'll bring it to you here on Live Now from...
What a piece of crap this guy is. Look at this asshole right here on my screen. Crazy. That's a crazy story, by the way. The cocaine part, like just uppers in general. Why was he drugging them? I don't get it. I like the theories that you all had in the chat, getting back at the mom for some reason, or getting back at the parents for some reason. Trying to sue Dairy Queen is a good one. I love that Dairy Queen has him on camera doing it or being suspicious around the drinks, whatever they have. I love that there's evidence against him. I really hope he goes to jail, to prison. Jail's, by the way, in case anybody doesn't know, I correct myself all the time, but if you get a sentence that's less than a year, you go to a jail. If you get a sentence that's more than a year, you go to a prison. I hope he gets prison time. I think more than a year. And at his age, it could be a life sentence. I wouldn't mind that. I don't think he can be trusted around any dairy products at all or children. That's just my opinion. Construction equipment joyride ends in prison time for 3 teens. Now, I mean, they just leave the keys in the stuff usually, right? Did they break anything? Were they just having fun? Let's find out. I mean, who hasn't taken a front-end loader for a joyride as a teenager once or twice? Who hasn't done that?
I got 2 subjects on the northeast corner of the property, possibly 3, working with some stuck equipment. I'm not sure if they belong there or they're juveniles or not. They are now they're repositioning one of the lulls to try to unstick the other one. One lull is looks like he's headed towards the other equipment on the north end of the property. Let him jump the gate and you get him. All right, he's stopping, either talking over or okay, he's talking. He's complying with you. All right, I got one on the southwest corner. All right, the third one went back towards the big warehouse building. One on the southwest corner is jumping the gate now. They're jumping the fence. Alright, he's trying to hunker down in some woods and now he's running again behind or near 1655 Key Bay Trail. Alright, I got the third one. He's running south beside the water treatment plant now in the field. All right, he's running behind 1050. Right, just go directly straight in front of you, that patrol car. Hands up, he is in a prone position now.
Got him. I guess that's all we're getting.
Behind 1040 Indian Ridge.
I guess that's all we're getting from Osceola sheriffs. They're not going to tell us what happened. They're just going to give us the video. All right. That's fine. I get it. Man found dead at Burning Man festival. You know, you go to a pagan ritual, you get a pagan ritual. Am I right? Let's hear what happens. A homicide investigation has been launched at the Burning Man festival in the United States of Nevada, in the U.S. state of Nevada. The United States of Nevada, I said. That's not a thing. After a man was found lying in a pool of blood on Saturday night, police say a festival goer stopped a police officer around 2141. I can't math. That's like 10 o'clock? I don't know. Local time on Sunday to alert him to the incident. The man was found lying on the ground, obviously deceased at a campsite. The Pershing County Sheriff's official office said. The body was discovered as the man, a towering structure with which lends the event its name, this thing here. If you don't know, the Burning Man Festival comes from the Wicker Man Festival, which is a pagan ritual that I believe originated in Ireland, where they would put peasants, they would lock them inside of the structure and then light it like live people and then burn it. That's what this originates from, this ceremony, I guess you would call it, right? The body was discovered as the man, a towering structure with which lends the event its name, was beginning to burn. The victim has not been identified. Burning Man Project said it was cooperating with law enforcement and urged those at the event not to interfere with the investigation. Part of the site in the Black Rock Desert was cordoned off as on-site police began investigating alongside a forensics team. Sheriff Jerry Allen said several participants in the immediate area were interviewed. Although this act appears to be a singular crime, all participants should always be vigilant of their surroundings and acquaintances, he warned. A significant police presence would remain at the scene as the investigation continued, he added. Burning Man draws tens of thousands of attendees to Black Rock City, which the organizers describe as a temporary metropolis put up in the desert annually to host this event, which ends on Monday. Crazy. Okay.
Now to this homicide investigation at the popular Burning Man Festival. Police say that he was found lying in a pool of blood Saturday night. We don't know his identity yet, but he's described as a white adult male. Attendees being told to stay vigilant as there's an increased law enforcement presence now. Alex Stone is on the story for us. Sounds pretty bizarre and not a lot of details. Do we know anything on how he died and who might be responsible, Alex?
We don't know, Kira, and the Sheriff's Department says that they don't know either. We just talked to the Sheriff's Department. They say they're trying to, identify who the victim is, that this happened right around 9 o'clock at night on Saturday night as the man, as it's known, the effigy that burns on the second to last night of the Burning Man Festival, as it was beginning to burn. And they found the victim, they say, quote, obviously deceased when they got to a campground area, and that the victim was the victim of murder. But they have called in forensic teams, other sheriff's office investigators as well. All of this made more difficult by that Black Rock City, which pops up every year for Burning Man, is not a real city, that it's going to be gone by midweek. So a lot of evidence will go away as well. They say that makes it more difficult.
This year's Burning Man has had a series of incidents throughout the week, right? What's going on?
Yeah, a number of different things. One is, and you saw in the photos there a moment ago, all of the wind and the dust storms and the rain. There was flooding that went on. There was a participant in all of these storms who was electrocuted during the rainstorm, stood in a puddle and actually then got electrocuted and was airlifted out. We don't know.
Let me know in the chat. I know a lot of people obviously go to these kind of festivals. Does this look fun to any of you? This looks like such a bad time to me. I would not. I mean, you couldn't pay me enough to go to something like this. There's no way. It looks miserable. It looks miserable.
That participant's condition right now. Then there was a baby that was born to a woman, 36-year-old woman, who she and her husband claimed they didn't even know she was pregnant. 3.5-pound baby born about a month early, but that she claimed that she hadn't even been pregnant, had no symptoms of it. There were medical workers who were camping next to them and actually helped them deliver that baby. So a lot of things that went on over the last couple of days.
Yeah, clearly bizarre. All right. Well, we'll track this homicide investigation for sure. Thank you, Alex.
Crazy. crazy stuff. I know that KFAR has already covered this story, or I think he did. He talked about covering it, but somebody did put it in my Crimeland tab, so I'm going to cover it too. It says Livonia police used the grappler to catch a car thief. I love this new technology. And I'll tell you why. Because it stops a car and it puts way less people in danger than when they do the pit maneuver. Because the pit maneuver, you never know you never know how that's going to turn out, right? They could do a pit maneuver and this car could jump over that barrier into oncoming traffic and kill somebody coming the other direction. You don't know. It puts other people who are innocent people, presumably, in danger. So this new grappler thing that they have, I love it. I love that they have it and that they're using it, and that they're still catching the criminals without putting other people's lives in danger. Let's watch.
I got to show you this new video of the moment police used a grappler to wrangle a stolen car on I-96. The car's rear axle just ripped off when the driver, as you can see there, tried to get away. Now, this is a tool that we're showing you in depth tonight, and it's kind of neat.
Yeah, it is. Fox News' Scott Wolchek is here to talk about it and more on that video you just showed us, Scott. That's a pretty amazing situation there.
Yeah, it really is. It's something that you feel like you'd see out of an action movie, Brandon, because honestly, when I saw that video, I was thinking, that ain't Batman. That's the Livonia Police Department, one of the only departments in Michigan that's actually got this thing. So basically what they do, this car was reported stolen. State police called for backup. They kind of ram the car almost. They gently kind of bump it, and what it's actually doing is deploying a net around that rear tire, so you can actually see this guy in the car.
Did you see his rear axle pop out of his car? I think fireworks? That's got to be fireworks, right? That's not gunshots. Fireworks. Sorry, got distracted. Watch this guy's rear axle just pop out of his car. Yeah, there was a baby born in Burning Man, but this guy's car just gave birth to a rear axle. Watch this.
And
crap.
what it's actually doing is deploying a net around that rear tire, so you can actually see this guy in the car. He's totally stumped about what happened. He tries to drive off, not once, twice. Third time, he breaks the axle off the vehicle. And that is actually not necessarily supposed to happen. It's actually supposed to be a safe way to pull these vehicles over during a police chase and really stop it before it even happens. But because this guy kept on pushing and tugging and all that kind of stuff, he kind of, as they say, played stupid games, win stupid prizes. Take a listen to what a retired police officer had to say about this entire thing.
You can't arrest people for stupid. Oh, that's felony stupid right there. He just ripped off his rear axle. I love it because in this particular case, no citizens were hurt, no police officers were hurt, and he's going to jail. It's a safe manner to make a traffic stop, especially on an expressway. The technology out there is amazing. It's just having the cost to pay for it. I think everyone should do that because it literally stops them in their tracks.
Stopped in his tracks. It was a 27-year-old man from Brighton. He had two women in the car with him. All of them have been arrested, awaiting any type of formal charges. Who's going to pay for the damaged axle? Well, probably up for insurance to figure out. For now, reporting live in Livonia, Scott Wolchek.
Don't think insurance will cover that. And did they? I forgot to pay attention because there's explosions happening outside my window. But did they say the car was stolen? If the car was stolen, then the person's insurance will probably pay for it. If it was this guy's car and he's just running for some reason, there's no way the insurance is going to pay for it.
Fox 2 News.
Yeah, good on you, Scott, for getting Dolan to talk about that. He's always one to give a crazy soundbite like that, and he encapsulated it, you know? I mean, this is really a dumb idea. It seems, though, like it's a good idea for law enforcement. How ubiquitous is this? Are we seeing it across the state?
Yeah, you know what? I think that we're not seeing it quite yet. I think it's pretty new technology, but it's something that I think a lot of police officers, at least from what I've seen online, everybody thinks it's pretty cool. And we saw Dolan right there saying, hey, that thing seems like it's working pretty well. This is the second time Livonia police have used it since they got it only a month or two ago. And we've seen it successfully deployed both times, stopping a guy who was allegedly drunk driving. And this time, you know, stealing a car. So hopefully it continues to work.
Never a good look. Scott Wolchuk live for us tonight. Thanks so much.
That's a great video. That is a great video. I like the axle popping off. Yeah, that car's definitely totaled. But I think since it was stolen, like that the insurance will probably cover it. Depending on what kind of insurance they have. If they just have liability, then it's their person's SOL. If they have full coverage, it'll be covered. Okay, so do you remember that woman that we covered, that the assistant attorney general that was drunk with her friend who kept saying, we covered it on Booze and Body Cams. We have a little bit of the court case here. Do you guys remember that? Should I find it and play that video? No, you guys remember. It was viral. And Kafar and I covered it on Booze and Body Cam, so obviously you remember it. Everyone's always here for that, right? So here she is here, not so drunk anymore, but she was wasted, and her friend was even more wasted.
At 6, video of her arrest went viral, and tonight a special assistant AG learns her punishment.
This lady.
In her trespassing. Special assistant AG learns her punishment in her trespassing case. By now, you've seen the video of her arrest, but her demeanor in court today was much different. Devin Flanagan pleads no contest.
Yeah, you think?
Good evening. I'm Patrice Wood.
Her demeanor was a little different than when she was drunk at a bar. You think? I would hope so. She was in court. That's how it should be.
Everyone, I'm Dan Janik in for Gene. Flanagan and a friend both appeared today in court and much better behaved. NBC 10's Molly Levine was there, and she joins us live from Newport. Molly?
Dan and Patrice, I obtained the criminal complaint, but it doesn't really go into detail about why exactly the two women were kicked off the property of the Clark Cook House. They definitely had quite the night there, and it goes on to really show a different scenario inside the courtroom.
I was really angered by it, and when I watched it with other people, that was their same reaction.
I was just, it was kind of cringe.
I'm an AG. I'm an AG. It's the video out of Rhode Island that's making its rounds on the internet. If you didn't hear her the first time, I'm an AG. Devin Flanagan is an assistant attorney general, but her job title didn't get her out of the trespassing charges she's facing from the Clark Cook House in Newport. I'm an AG. She pleaded no contest in front of a judge this morning.
Basically means that you're not contesting the charges. You're admitting that the state has enough evidence to prove this case against you.
Is this a surprising plea?
I don't think.
No. Oh, they have enough evidence? You mean video recording of everything that happened? Is that enough evidence? Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure that's enough evidence to charge her.
It is. You know, you watch the video. She's clearly told that she needs to leave the premises.
It was a girls' night in Newport gone wrong, and now Flanagan and her friend are facing the consequences. Flanagan's case comes with a 6-month filing, court costs, and she can't go back to the Clark Cook House. Separate from what happened in court, she was placed on unpaid leave from her job, where NBC 10 found out that her annual salary is $113,000.
$56,000 fine essentially is what she paid for a night out in Newport. What do you think about that?
I like that. That's a nice little price tag for such behavior.
Me too,
She
sir.
had no words for reporters outside of the courthouse,
Do you feel bad about what happened?
and no public apology.
She seemed to have no remorse during the incident. Doesn't really surprise me.
And Attorney General Peter Nerona said that he apologized to Newport police in person on Monday and said that Flanagan would do the same. I stopped by the Clark Cook House to see if they had a comment, but they said no comment. Live in Newport, Molly Levine, NBC 10 News.
And she was also trying to flag all the body cam channels who commented on it. She did it to Josh Prime. I don't know if you've noticed, but the episode that Kafar and I covered that on was off of my channel for a few days, and it's back now because I disputed or whatever, and it is back up on my channel, but it was down for a few days, and they put the money that I made on it in an escrow, but that went back to my account as well. It's not, I don't get a lot of views after the fact, so it was like pennies, right? It wasn't very much at all, but that went into some escrow account, and it was a whole thing. But it's back up on my channel now, and I think I'll be clipping some shorts out of it, because while it was in this like dispute, it came back twice too, which was weird, because I did the dispute the first time, and then usually it just gets settled from there, but then it came back again, and I had to dispute it again, and now it's back up again. So I don't know, but it's public record. So what are you going to do, lady? Nothing you can do. Sorry. All right. This one says, couple saved in their volunteer chopper rescue reunited. Met with angry fire department at landing. I don't know who sent me this one, but let's see what happens. I'm not sure what this is either. Yeah, she has a degree in entitlement. Yes, exactly. When stuff is public record, stuff is public record. There's nothing you can do about it unless she gets a judge to quash it or something, or like, put something out. I don't know if that's the correct term or whatever, but even then it's already out. Like it's already out. You can't undo that. It's already out. Sorry. Like it's just how it works. Okay, before we get into this story, let's get some milk bones for these poor starving dogs. Looks like she was trying to flash the body cam too while getting into the car. Maybe she was. Maybe she, she's not making that $113,000 a year salary for a few months. So maybe she's going to try to do an OnlyFans account instead. You need to plots. Thank you. Oh, poor baby. I made her lay down. That's for you. This one is for Xena too. You got to be easy. I don't want to lose a finger. Easy. Thank you. We will get Leia and Xena 1 in the back. Oh, I think she caught it. No, she didn't. Because of the fireworks, Luca's no longer with us. He's probably hiding under the bed in the other room, I would assume. Or he likes to try to cram himself behind the toilet too when there's fireworks or thunder or anything like that. But Luca's MIA. He's the little one. Thank you so much, Cool Clearwater family. Barbara, thank you so much.
First time since we showed you the rescue attempt of a Lake Lure couple stranded on a cliff.
Oh.
We now know what happened to the husband.
I remember this story. I watched a whole thing about this. This was during Helene, I think was the storm's name, the Hurricane Helene that went up into the Carolinas. And yeah, okay, we'll just watch it. We'll watch it.
He was left behind after the volunteer chopper pilot who saved his wife was forced to end that rescue effort under the threat of arrest by a Lake Lure fire official. Here's Queen City News Chief Investigator Jody Barr.
I was able to look him up a few minutes after I left.
And who is this?
His title online is the Assistant Chief of Lake Lure Fire and Rescue.
This is the man volunteer helicopter pilot Jordan Sidum said threatened to arrest him if he made one more trip up a Lake Lure mountain to rescue another person. Just minutes before, a couple waved Sidum down as he passed overhead. Mike and Susan Coffey were stranded on a cliff after the storm washed away their home and the land it sat on.
We could see the water starting to get much more violent, right? And we could see trees start to go down and the water levels start to rise, but we kind of thought we were safe because we were so high up. And then we started to hear a lot of noises.
Rumbling.
Just rumbling.
It wasn't thunder. What's this weird rumbling?
Yeah, trees falling,
right.
Rocks, so it got a little bit frightening at that point. We actually sat there and then we watched our house go. The cliff just dropped. That whole side of the road, the cliff just dropped off, right? All of the trees and the dirt and everything else just started collapsing.
Imagine being stranded and one of your neighbors, out of the goodness of their heart, who happens to be a helicopter pilot, comes to rescue you. And the local authorities is like, no, leave them there. You can't rescue those people. What are you doing? That's crazy to me. I believe this happened. This wasn't the only story where this happened during that storm in the Carolinas. I believe it happened multiple times where neighbors were trying to help each other, and the authorities, this in this case was the fire department or the police or whoever, was like, no, you cannot help them. That's what we're here for. But they weren't helping the people.
For the next 2.5 days, the couple slept in their car, surviving on 2 bottles of water and 2 bags of chips.
Friday night, I mean, we had no water, we had potato chips, we're also dehydrating. Like, well, that was a great pick, you know. But so by the next morning, we were starting to get worried again of what we would have to be able to drink. We started to see helicopters go over. So every time we heard a copter, we'd just run out and start waving. There was a big pile of rocks at the house next door. So we did a big SOS sign in the cul-de-sac with the rocks, and just staying in the moment to stay positive and not worry too much. And then we saw this small black helicopter fly, and we were waving at it, and it stopped.
And it actually stopped.
Well, yeah, it circled over us.
When you saw that helicopter make a U-turn and start coming toward you, what was going through your mind at that moment?
Thank God. Thank God somebody saw us. Somebody was trying to help somewhere. So that was the first time somebody actually stopped and acknowledged that we were there.
And so Mike says, of course, for me to go first. He'll stay there with the cat. And then Jordan says, I'll come back and get you.
Sidum left his son with Mike Coffey and flew Susan to what Sidum described as a command post 3 minutes away near Lake Lure.
So we land, and I get out of the helicopter and I go towards them. And so then Jordan is able to come out, and they're just standing there looking very mad and very annoyed. And so, who are you? You know, I didn't realize he had just taken upon himself, followed his heart to come help rescue people. And his communication is so down, it's hard to know who to let know that he has this free airspace that he can go do this. So he was telling them who he was and what he was doing. And they just were just not happy. They weren't happy about it. And he said, this is our this is our mission. This is our operation. We can't just have you flying in and out. And so he was trying to tell them, Jordan was telling them, well, I can't just leave her husband there. I don't want to separate a family. So if you just let me go back and get her husband.
Not to mention the fact his son was up there now too, because they just said that it was a 2-person helicopter. So he left his son up there while he took the woman to the coordination center or whatever it was. I don't know. I mean, he has to go back for his son.
And then I'll bring him here, and then I'll take my son, and we'll go.
One of the Michigan firemen Sidum says he spoke to and who gave him radio frequencies to help coordinate with them told him to do whatever he had to. Susan Coffey witnessed that conversation.
Pretty much told him, in a way, break the rule, just go get her, go get the husband so that they can be reunited. So that's why I thought that it was okay that he was going to be able to go get him. I didn't know that then he was threatened with arrest. He was told just to leave. And so I thought he was going to go get my husband. And
he informed me when he got there. And when I got to the door, he said, I am so sorry, but I'm told if I bring you back that I'm going to be arrested and I can't take you back with me. And in fact, I was told I couldn't come get my co-pilot, my son. I just told him I'm not going to leave my son here.
Yeah.
He said, I am so sorry. I don't know what to tell you, but I need to take my son and we're going to leave. And they've told me they're aware of where you are and you will be rescued. He takes off. I had no idea where my wife was. I couldn't comprehend what was going on. Like, how did this make sense? And when, if ever, I was going to be reunited with her, or how long it would take for some other rescue crew to get back to me. So that was the most stressful part of the whole experience. I can watch my house go. I can watch our neighbors' houses go. We were together, right? And we knew each other was safe. And when he left, that thought, right, just kind of disappeared. Like, okay, I don't know what's going to happen from here.
Coffee hiked down the cliff and found what he believes is that same Michigan rescue crew from the command post.
Probably 20, 25 minutes later, I saw a rescue crew across the river, and I was waving them down, and I was able to get down the banks to our side of the river where I could at least yell and communicate across the river saying, "Do you have my wife? Do you know where my wife is?" And they were giving me the thumbs up.
They used ropes to drag him across the raging debris-filled river to safety.
And the very first thing he said to me was, "Are you okay?"
Pretty sure a helicopter ride would have been safer than dragging him. Do you see this water? And like they said, debris filled. A hurricane just happened. So it's full of like trees and houses and parts of cars and parts of barns and stuff. They should have let the helicopter guy just get him and then be like, okay, you can't rescue anybody else. Like at least get the dude. Oh, vey.
"Are you Mike Coffey? We've got your wife. So she's safe." So at that point, I could relax, knowing that she was safe. Those guys also, they came down from Michigan. They don't know us from anybody. They were willing to put their lives on the line. They're also heroes in the story.
Was there a point in time when either of you thought maybe you may not see one another again?
Of course.
I certainly did. Yeah.
He didn't know who took me, and at that point.
I mean, honestly, this guy shows up in a helicopter, he takes your wife, and then he comes back and says, "Oh, I can't pick you up," right? I had no idea when
things
or
go
if,
through your mind, right?
I was going to see her again, where she was taken.
After a few hours, the Coffeys found one another again.
So when the bus came back to get me, and then I see the doors open and Mike's head sticks out, and he's like, "Susan," I'm like, "Mike, oh my God." I was so relieved that, that he was.
Look at how lovingly he's looking at her, and look at how upset she was to be. These two, the goals, am I right? These two love each other very much. You can just tell by the way they're telling the story together.
Picked up, and that we were back together.
In the days after the storm, the communication lines were down at Town Hall. No phone, internet, or cell signal either. We sent messages to Assistant Chief Chris Melton, the man Jordan Sidham said ran him and any other pilot who showed up out of town under threat of arrest. But Melton never responded. Thursday morning, instead of making Assistant Chief Melton available, the town offered its town manager for an interview.
So what the personal aircraft coward this guy is to not do the interview. Like, you're the chief that's making the orders, and you send this town manager, who, by the way, looks pretty young to me. I don't know if she's media trained. I assume she is, but you're sending her in to do your dirty work for you? What? Why? Just answer the questions, chief of the fire department. That's your job. You have a duty to your constituents to answer their questions.
That landed was not only unauthorized, but also they provided no notification that they were coming, and that did pose a potential risk to ongoing operations with search and rescue. And then, also just wasn't safe for them to be there as regular citizens, especially since we didn't know, who they were or what they were doing there.
In the days after the storm, through that Sunday morning, there was no restricted airspace in Lake Lure. The FAA did impose a temporary flight restriction after this encounter between Mr. Sidham and the Assistant Fire Chief Melton. So you all still contend today that no one should have been in that area trying to save these people who had been stranded for 2 days, headed into day 2, next to day 3?
Correct. If anything, they should have at least notified Incident Command, who would have authorized them or not authorized them to be in that area.
They were at the command center saying, this is who we are. This is what we're planning on doing. They went there They picked somebody up on the way there. When they got there, they said, hey, this is us. This is what we're doing. And you turned them away. They had a helicopter and a helicopter pilot who were giving you all of their credentials. And you turned them away. What the heck?
Sidham said he did exactly that. When he landed at the Rutherford County Airport and spoke with the people in charge, Sidham says airport officials told him they were only selling fuel to private aircraft if those pilots were helping in the search and rescue effort. Sidham has the receipts showing a fuel purchase going into Lake Lure that Sunday morning and one after the arrest threat just 2 hours later.
And
I'm unaware
of that.
Yep.
Ms. Stuman, less than 24 hours later, private pilots were being asked to return to that area to do what Mr. Sidham was doing at that time.
Oh!
Do you see how that?
Oh! Did you see who just popped his head in? Oh, watch this door back here.
Yep.
Ms. Stuman, less than 24 hours later, private pilots were being asked to return to that area to do what Mr. Sidham was doing at that time.
Oh, that mustache is very recognizable. Milton, I think his name was. He's like, oh, can't be here. There's the news person here. Can't be here. And then leaves. Look at this guy. Yeah, that's him. That is definitely him. Coward. This man in this doorway right here is a coward.
Mr. Sidham was doing at that time. Do you see how that the public may look at that and go, well, that's a little perplexing that, just before he was severely endangering rescue efforts, and then, less than a day later, they're being begged to come back and help.
Well, I can only imagine that they went through the correct chain of command to be authorized to come here.
What was the danger posed in what Mr. Sidham did, the specific danger that day?
Well, it interrupted operations of the people who were there from national, state, and local resources, one, and two, downtown Chimney Rock is in disarray right now. For someone who's not adequately trained in emergency operations,
How do you know he's inadequately trained? He was trained. He's a trained helicopter pilot. What are you talking about, inadequately trained? You think you're more trained than he is? You don't know his background. You didn't ask him any of that. He was willing to give you all of that stuff, and you sent him away. In all honesty, I kind of feel bad for this girl because her boss, who just popped his head in the door, by the way, put her in the hot seat. She should not be here. She should not have to be the one dealing with this, right? But also, it's a bunch of nonsense.
Especially at that time, they should not have been in that location.
Well, just some hours later, he was back in the area, and the county welcomed him in to do exactly what he did just the day before. Do you think his training was significantly improved overnight?
I think that it's not that we're turning away help or volunteerism at all.
That was a great question from the news guy right there. Oh, so his training improved in 24 hours that much? Basically saying to her without saying to her, that's a dumb answer to the question, ma'am. Do you want to rethink that answer? Do you want to try again? Oh.
Significantly improved overnight?
I think that it's not that we're turning away help or volunteerism at all. Once again, we just need to go through the right steps to do that. So we're aware, the state is aware, Rutherford County is aware, and the town of Lake Lure and village of Chimney Rock is aware of what's going on. That was not the case initially.
Are you all welcoming those private helicopter pilots who have delivered food and water and medical supplies and are helping rescue human lives from the mountains around Lake Lure? Are you guys welcoming them now?
That would need to go through the Rutherford County Emergency Management or the State Emergency Management.
I'm asking you as an official, the leader of...
She's playing hot potato with these questions right now. Oh, ask somebody else. You should know the answer to that. Even if it's their decision, you should know the answer to this question, ma'am.
Emergency Management or the State Emergency Management.
I'm asking you as an official, the leader of Lake Lure, North Carolina, are you now welcoming those private helicopters in your community?
Yes, if they go through the necessary channels.
Do you think that your people on the ground in Lake Lure did what they should have done when they handled this flooding victim that was delivered to them in the encounter between Assistant Chief Melton and this private pilot?
Yes, sir. They were doing what they were supposed to do at that time. And, you know, I can't speak highly enough of Mr. Melton and all of our emergency personnel that's here right now. They've been out here for days on end, putting their lives on the line to save people. And, you know, they were doing their job.
What would you say to him today?
I would ask that why he didn't take the time to assess the whole situation and make a better decision. As an emergency manager, director, and assistant chief of the fire department, that's the time that you should try to be coordinating with outside agencies to get more help in. That's your job title, and there wasn't much coordination going on.
Sidum told us the only thing he regrets is leaving Mike Coffey behind, and whatever price he had to pay, he should have paid it.
I'm sorry. If I had to do it over again, I would have stopped and I would have rescued as many people until they decided they were going to arrest me.
He got my wife at his own cost,
That
at a risk.
is a good man. He obviously a rule follower, so they told him to not do it and he didn't do it. But upon reflection, he's like, I should have just kept rescuing people till they took me away in cuffs. Which is sometimes a difficult decision to make in the moment, but at least he looked back upon it. And I appreciate that statement a lot from him. And I guarantee if he got arrested, these two would have bailed him out. I guarantee it. Because they look like good people too, in my opinion.
Until they decided they were going to arrest me.
He got my wife at his own cost, at a risk to himself, and he was the one person who actually stopped to help just because he could, right? I mean, he got in his helicopter and flew up there just because he knew he could make a difference to someone. And he did. He's a hero. Yeah. I'm sure everyone's stressed in that scenario, but he was following his heart and doing the right thing. Maybe there were rules that somebody would like to impose order on the chaos, but the bottom line is getting those people out of there. And even if I had never been rescued, knowing that she was safe because what he did would have been enough. So thank you, Jordan. Thank you.
Less than 24 hours after we interviewed Jordan Sidum, he was invited back into the disaster area, along with dozens of other private chopper pilots. A massive all-volunteer supply and rescue effort is working out of the Hickory Airport, doing flight rescues and delivering supplies to places where military helicopters are just too big to get into. The latest numbers we have show those volunteer pilots have rescued somewhere around 200 people and have delivered several tons of food, water, and medical supplies to people still stranded in the North Carolina mountains.
Wow.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, Queen City News wants to remind you about the ways that you can help. And when you scan,
somebody said in the chat that FEMA was destroying some of the supplies people sent, which really bothers me a lot because Dave and I, right after that happened, our next door neighbors were going up there to try to get supplies to people. And we went to Sam's Club and spent, I want to say it was just under $500 on water, like just different supplies, water, snacks, toilet paper, toiletry. I remember getting a lot of toiletries. They were asking for like deodorant, toothpaste, toothbrushes, things like that, like basic necessity items. But they had pallets of stuff, my next door neighbor's house here, that they were taking up there. And if the stuff that we spent our hard-earned money on got destroyed by FEMA, I will be very upset. We bought a bunch of blankets as well, brand new, like all brand new stuff. It wasn't even like you know, I probably could have donated a bunch of old, like we have, I don't know, we collect blankets around here. We have a lot of blankets. I probably could have sent all of those up there too. But we bought new stuff from Sam's Club that day and sent it up there. Anyway, that whole story kind of pisses me off that somebody's trying to help. This helicopter pilot does not need to put himself in danger to rescue people. He's doing this out of the goodness of his heart because his neighbors are in trouble and need help. And this guy who can't even do an interview with the local news decided, nope, you can't help, and then invites him back the next day. Crazy. I got one last story for you guys. We need, we always need a little something uplifting at the end, right? We can't leave on something like we just watched. We definitely can't leave on like the train stabbing that we watched, or the grandfather poisoning his grandchild. Like, we need something uplifting. This was sent to me by, I believe it was Legal Fiction. If I'm wrong, I'm so sorry. I think Legal Fiction sent me this. I haven't watched it yet. I want to be uplifted along with you. So we're going to watch it together. He said this is a good one to end on, and it will make our hearts happy. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. Here we go. All right.
Tonight, we bring you a bittersweet story of a local Marine and the dog he met while deployed overseas.
A bittersweet story? I thought it was uplifting. Uh-oh. All right, let's see what happens, I guess.
CBS 2's Cindy Shu takes us to Staten Island to share their story of hope and resilience.
John Korogan is an FDNY firefighter and joined the Marine Reserves at 17, right out of high school.
All my life, I always wanted like these honorable.
Marines have the best uniforms, in my opinion. I might be a little biased, but they do have the best looking uniforms, especially their dress uniforms.
Jobs and to serve my country, and being in the Marine Corps Reserves and the FDNY, I get the best of both worlds.
He was deployed to Tbilisi in the country of Georgia nearly 2 years ago, where he and fellow Marines unofficially adopted several stray dogs.
We've just been taking care of them, and they've really grown on us. So they've become like part of our family. They boost our morale here.
One of their favorites, Remy, had a litter of terrier mixed puppies last year, and they all grew so close the Marines wanted to bring them home to the United States at the end of their deployment. Korogan bonded with the quietest of the pack, Peggy.
Oh my gosh, she is so cute. She would fit right in around here, wouldn't she? A little blonde doggy. I love her. I love Peggy.
Peggy. He came home in September of last year and started working on the paperwork to bring Peggy home as a surprise gift for his fiancée. But shortly after he returned to Staten Island, Korogan's fiancée was killed in a car accident.
Very difficult, and luckily one of the only things I was looking forward to was getting Peggy and seeing all the dogs be brought home. So it was like one good thing out of a bunch of terrible situations.
But the reunions were delayed when the CDC announced a ban on bringing dogs into the U.S. due to concerns over rabies. So for the last year, SPCA International's...
What are you talking concerns over? Get them some rabies shots. Do some tests. Do some tests. Get them some rabies shots. It'll be fine. Delayed for a year? That's crazy.
Can I pet that dog?
No.
Can I pet that dog? No. Can I pet that dog? No, he's sleeping. Can I pet that dog?
I want to pet that dog.
Operation Baghdad Pups Worldwide has been working to get the dogs home to their service members, which they've been doing since 2008. Korogan kept in close contact with SPCA as he waited.
But we kept in touch over the last year, and I think this was one of the most heartwarming reunions of our entire program.
A few weeks ago, Peggy finally made it home to Staten Island. She's just over a year old now and starting a new life in Port Richmond with her big brother and sister, Bella and Bishop.
She's been great. Like, she sheds a lot, but other than that, she's she made my life better.
Peggy's mom, Remy, and all her siblings have been reunited with their Marines in the States.
Aww.
And the hope is that one day they'll all have a big reunion. In Port Richmond, Staten Island, Cindy Shu, CBS 2 News.
Oh, Peggy fits right in.
I love her.
And as you said, she makes your life better.
It really
That's
is.
what
A lot of
dogs do.
heartbreak, a lot of patience, but
looks like a good ending.
In the end, yes.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. That's it. That's the show. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, next Sunday, I will not be here, but I do want to make a couple of announcements. Let me pull my calendar up. So, next Sunday, the 14th, no Katie Z. I'm sorry. I have things that I have to do that day, and I will not be here, and I won't be somewhere even remote where I can like fire up the live stream. So, if I decide to do one earlier, I'll put something out on the community page. I might, depending, like if there's something crazy going on, we might do one like go back to the old 4:30 spot or something like that. But I might just also take a day off. I haven't done that in a while. Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Game night this month for members is going to be on the 20th. So mark your calendars, the 20th from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. We're going to continue this game. Hold on, let me grab it for you guys. I think this one was kind of fun. The Truly Terrifying Trivia. I like this one a lot. We didn't get through many cards last time because it was kind of a shit show because everybody was talking over each other. So we're going to go back to this game and see if we can get some more cards read through on the 20th of this month. I only have 10 available spots, so it'll be first come, first serve. So not everybody's going to be able to get in. So if you are a member and you want to play, let me know. And you'll have to be here before 8 sometime. We ran out of spots last time. First time ever, by the way, that I had so many people wanting to do this game night that we ran out of spots. I think that's it. I think that's all of the announcements. Oh, new Katie Z merchandise. Let me pull that up. KTZ.com. KatieZ.com. KatieZ.com. If you go to KatieZ.com, let me pop this up on the screen. There it is. KatieZ.com, we actually have the new logo on some stuff. So if you're looking for a t-shirt, you can get a t-shirt. That's just the back. There we go. They're the super soft, nice t-shirts. Just like this is the old t-shirt. But I got the new design on a t-shirt now. And of course you can get your Xena merchandise. We all know you're not here to see me. You're here to see Xena. True Crime with Xena featuring Katie Z. Obviously we got that nice little drawing of her sleeping. That's her normal state of things. And of course you can always get your How to Get Away with Crime notebook to take notes during these shows. Oh, we got a sweatshirt too. Got a sweatshirt too. Very nice. If you want to get your dog a gift, you can get this little bandana to put on their collar. All the things. All the things. Anyway, that's at KatieZ.com. You can also pick up other creators' merchandise there. I'm happy to host other people. We have KFAR. We have Generally Specific. Steven is there. Patriot Jam merchandise, Sunset Saints. The Christ is King merchandise. All of the profits go to onemorechild.org. Like every single, we don't keep any money from that at all. All of it goes to onemorechild.org. I think we've raised through this merchandise alone $150, like $146 and some change, something like that we've sent them already. So if you would like Christ is King merchandise, it's a pretty cool design. It's got the Chad Jesus Christ, obviously. That's it. I just wanted to let you guys know that I put the new logo on the merchandise now. I created the new logo 6 months ago, just never put it on the t-shirt. So it's there now if you want to do that. That's it. That's the show. We will see you. By we, I mean Kfar and I. Hi, Kfar. I see he's in the chat. Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Remember, no show on Sunday unless something crazy happens, in which case I'll go early. I'll go live earlier in the day. I'm thinking I'm just going to take the day off, though. Check the community tab. I will keep you guys updated. Have a great night, everybody. Bye, guys. Oh, they hear me say bye, guys, and they're like, oh, time to go to bed. Did you see them as soon as I said bye, guys? That was kind of cute. All right, sorry. Bye, guys.
First Florida man was Fernando de Soto. First Florida man, Fernando de Soto. First Florida man was Fernando de Soto. Won't you so loco? Show off your photos, throw out your Twinkies, throw up your ho-hos, tuck in them pinkies. Them shits a no-no. The first Florida man was Fernando de Soto. Brought to my attention by the man with the mojo. My 8th subscriber, I'm a bagoso.